Hello friends, and welcome to this next lecture on digestive system of earthworms. The digestive system of earthworm include alimentary canal. The alimentary canal of earthworm is associated with some digestive glands, and in this digestive system we are also going to study about the physiology of digestion. So firstly we will see about the alimentary canal. The alimentary canal of earthworm, it is a long and straight tube-like structure which extends from mouth up to the anus. It consists of following parts. First one is mouth, which is located in the first segment behind the prostomium. Second part of the alimentary canal is buccal cavity. So mouth is followed by buccal cavity, which is present from second segment to the third segment or up to the half of third segment, that is the middle of third segment. Then next part in the alimentary canal is pharynx. So pharynx is located from third segment up to fourth segment. The pharynx is followed by a narrow tubular part, esophagus, which is present from 5th up to 7th. That means it is present from 5th, then 6th to 7th segment. Esophagus is followed by the grinding part of alimentary canal, that is gizzard. Gizzard is somewhat wider organ and it is located from 8th up to 9th segment. Then stomach is followed by, gizzard is followed by stomach, which is located from 9th up to 14th. Sometime in some cases it may be present from 10th up to 14th segment. Then stomach is followed by intestine. Intestine is located from 15th up to the terminal part of body except the last segment. In the last segment anus is present. So from 15th segment up to the last segment the intestine is present. Now at last segment there is anus. So this is the segmental position of various parts of alimentary canal. In this diagram we can clearly observe that the alimentary canal is a straight tubular part which extends from anterior up to the posterior part of the animal body. Right at the first segment we can see here there is mouth. Mouth is followed by this chamber, wide chamber, buccal cavity. Buccal cavity posteriorly follows or continues into pharynx. Then pharynx runs backward into esophagus. Esophagus then continues posteriorly as a gizzard. Then gizzard is followed by a narrow tubular part, stomach. Then stomach continues into intestine. So from this 15th segment we can say that from this 15th segment the rest of the part of alimentary canal is included in intestine up to the last segment. The last segment is anus. Last segment contains anus. So we will see one by one all the parts of alimentary canal. So firstly we will see mouth. So mouth is located in the first segment. It is present below the prostomium. Now prostomium, as you can see in this diagram, this is a highly magnified diagram of anterior part of the earthworm. In this diagram we can see here is a mouth. This is the mouth opening which may be called as stoma, and this stoma is guarded by this prostomium. So prostomium, it is present in front of this stoma, that means it is present in front of mouth to guard the mouth. This is a muscular fold like structure which is present in front of the mouth. So mouth is present below prostomium. Mouth then posteriorly leads into buccal cavity. The ingestion of food particle, that means maybe organic material or the soil particles, that particles are ingested into the alimentary canal through this stoma, that means mouth. Then another or next part of alimentary canal, it is buccal cavity. So mouth is followed by buccal cavity. Buccal cavity is a short, wider, thin walled tube which extends from second segment up to third segment or half of the third segment, that means middle of the third segment, but it is wider, you can say, cavity. It consists of two types of muscles. One is protractile muscle and second retractile muscles. These muscles help to protrude the mouth out of protrude the buccal cavity out of the mouth at the time of feeding, so that it can hold the food particle properly during feeding. Buccal cavity leads into spacious organ posteriorly as a pharynx. So buccal cavity then opens posteriorly into pharynx. So this is the next part of alimentary canal, pharynx. So pharynx is a small, swollen, wider, thick walled, pear shaped chamber. So it is small part, it is swollen, that is it is somewhat expanded, then wider and thick walled. In case of buccal cavity, we have seen that buccal cavity is thin walled, but the pharynx is thick walled, and this is pear shaped chamber which extends up to fourth segment. So pharynx is extended up to fourth segment. It is wider than buccal cavity, as we have seen that it is somewhat broader or wider than buccal cavity. It is distinguished from the buccal cavity by the means of constriction. That means in between pharynx and buccal cavity there is a constriction. So externally we can also mark their position through the segment, but internally we can easily distinguish them by this constriction. So that means the end of buccal cavity and the beginning of pharynx is marked by this constriction. It has pharyngeal gland. The pharynx has pharyngeal gland which are located here. So this pharyngeal gland is composed of many chromophil cells. So this pharyngeal gland is generally located in dorsal salivary chamber. So this is a TS of pharynx. This diagram shows the TS of pharynx. In this TS of pharynx there are two type of chambers. One is a salivary chamber, second one is ventral chamber. The salivary chamber, on dorsal side of salivary chamber, here there are chromophil cells. These chromophil cells are nothing other than pharyngeal gland cells. So these pharyngeal gland cells, it is made up of many chromophil cells which produces saliva, and that saliva which is produced in these chromophil cells, it contains proteolytic enzymes which include protease and mucin. So these proteolytic enzymes, protease and mucin, they help in digestion. The mucin generally softens the food. So role of mucin is to mix with the food and make it soft. But the protease enzyme present in the saliva, it converts or breaks the protein into amino acids. So the next part in alimentary canal is esophagus. Here in this diagram we can see the esophagus. Anteriorly this is the mouth. Mouth is followed by buccal cavity, then buccal cavity leads into pharynx. This is pear shaped pharynx, and pharynx then posteriorly continues into esophagus. So esophagus, simply this is a narrow tubular structure which is thin walled and which extends from fifth up to seventh segment. So esophagus, simply it is a muscular tube which extends from fifth up to seventh segment. It has no glands. So there is no gland, simply it is a tube, there is no gland in esophagus. It only functions to pass the food particles from pharynx up to gizzard. So simply, as it is simply a tube, there is no gland, so it simply passes the food from pharynx up to gizzard, and posteriorly it leads into gizzard. So next part, that is gizzard. Now gizzard is somewhat oval structure which is thick walled and highly muscular organ. So in this diagram we can see that it is highly muscular. Here we can see this is the external layer, and internally there are many layers of muscle, which this oval organ it extends from 8th up to 9th segment. So 8th, from 8th segment to 9th segment, this oval thick wall structure is located. It is hardest part of the alimentary canal. Internally also it contains the lining of cuticle. So due to presence of internal cuticle, it is said to be the hardest part of alimentary canal. It also possesses chitinous teeth-like projections internally. So on the internal cuticle layer, or near the internal cuticle layer in the lumen of gizzard, there are some teeth-like projections made up of chitin, and these teeth-like projections of the chitin, they help in grinding or cutting or crushing of food particles, so that proper grinding occurs during feeding. So if the large particles are ingested from the mouth and they are carried from buccal cavity to pharynx and from pharynx to esophagus, which then pass into this gizzard. So when the large particle comes into gizzard, the teeth or these grinding parts, teeth like projections in the gizzard, it break such large particles into smaller pieces, so that the proper grinding may occur and the food particle they become uh, or they are crushed into very small size for proper.